Welcome to Sacred Strategy, the business and energy podcast where bold strategies meet the magic of energy and intuition. I'm Sora Schilling, sacred spaceholder, business alchemist, and creator of the Devoted Archetypes, Sovereign Selling, and the Devoted Energy Coaching Model. For over a decade, I've guided thousands of coaches and spaceholders to build thriving, soul-aligned businesses that create impact and life-changing money. Let's cut through the noise of traditional strategies and uncover your unique medicine. Use the Devoted Archetypes to become a transformational spaceholder and learn to sovereignly sell with integrity. This podcast is your invitation to step into your magic and create a blissfully abundant business and life filled with curiosity, awe, and wonder. Let's dive in. Last week, I was on a market research call. It was a roundtable with a well-known business coach in our industry who was creating her next offer, and she wanted feedback from coaches who were at the point in their business where I was. And so I was so excited to be at this roundtable. And I shared something with her that surprised her. I shared what I really want in a group program is for the coach or the co-coaches to actually know me, to be able to keep track and understand where I have been, what I was working on, where I should go next. Not rapid fire Q&As where someone who knows nothing about my business is just simply giving me a generic answer, or within that 5 to 10 minutes is asking me a couple of questions to understand me, but someone who actually remembers what I'm working on, who has context from my journey, who can coach me as a whole human person, not just answer today's isolated question. And she looked at me and paused and nodded and said, that's really interesting. Like it was something that was revolutionary or novel. And I found that to be interesting because this is what I have noticed happening in a lot of large group programs, a lot of group coaching programs or big intakes in masterminds where there are hundreds of people. There are these amazing co-coaches that come in to ensure that every single person's questions and needs are being met, but also they have not created any structures or thought about the values of really understanding the humans that are there to create this long-term relationship. And so I knew that she was bringing in co-coaches, not to replace her, but to ensure that every single person's needs were being met. But it was based on the context of what a lot of other big group coaching programs were thinking. And I wanted to share my spin around intimacy. And so it made me think about you. You might be holding 25, 30 people. You might be desiring to approach 40 to 50 to even 75 people in your group programs. And you're starting to feel the edges of your capacity, and that there's a slight scramble to remember everyone's context, or feeling a bit exhausted after the calls, wondering how you're going to keep track of everyone. Or you might be holding spaces of 7 to 8 to 10 people, and you're worried about the fact that you're trying to keep track of all of them. How in the world are you ever going to grow your group coaching program to hold a lot more people because already it's feeling overwhelming? And so therefore, there is a suggestion for you to consider bringing in a co-coach or 2 co-coaches, everything that you can then contract out and build these relationships with your co-coach. And I'm going to share with you why, and also what your resistance may be in embodying yourself and shifting your identity into that incredible, expansive CEO who's looking at scaling their coaching program while bringing in these amazing foundational points of reference, and why you may think, oh, but that's not for me, right? So here's what folks may not be speaking about when considering scaling your group program. There's this moment where success becomes a problem, where you've grown and people want to work with you and your programs are filling and you're hitting an edge. It's not that you can't handle the number of people. You absolutely can. You're simply showing up, giving great coaching, holding space, but also there may not be some systems in place. And because of that, there's a subtle shift where your quality of your presence may be wobbly, or the depth of your knowledge is starting to waver because the spaciousness you once brought into every interaction may not be there anymore because you're worried about how many people you need to get to, or whether or not you've kept track of everything and things seem to be falling through the cracks because, again, the container has some holes in it. So you find yourself giving great answers, but may maybe not be the transformational ones. You're coaching the question, but not really taking into account the fullness of the person. You're managing energy instead of creating sacred space. Now, this isn't a competence issue because you are an incredible coach. This is about the physics of human attention. It's about the limits of an individual capacity that one has if they don't have systems in place. And this is about deepening into the understanding around space holding and circular sacred leadership. And this is where you might feel like you're stuck. You think that the only choice is to stay small because you don't want to become a factory. You don't want to feel as if the intimate nature of what you are doing is now lacking. And so you limit yourself rather than scaling because you're afraid that it's going to lose soul. But what if? What if this is a false choice? What if bringing in a co-coach or two, a person who shares your methodology, who's been through your work, who you can trust completely, but also has their own magic and medicine that can be added into the weaving of the structure of what you are holding, not dilutes your program, but actually amplifies it and grows it and brings it to life in much more colorful ways. So let's go ahead and really identify what the issue is here. The root of the problem is that it may feel threatening. So let's be honest about why this feels really hard. Your clients chose you. They resonate with your energy. They want your coaching. And underneath that truth, really, there's something else though. Being the only source of transformation also, let's be real, could feel as if you now feel valuable, worthy, important, special, irreplaceable. And there's a part of us, me, you, that needs to be needed in that particular way. I get it. I totally get it. That finds identity in being the one who holds it all. Yep, that would definitely have been me too, and something that I'm really mindful of. The thought of sharing that holding of space with someone else, of sharing the relationships you've had with your clients with someone else, it touches something tender there because your ego might say things like, what if they like the co-coach better? What if I become less important? What if they choose the co-coach and decide to leave the program and work with a co-coach or see that there's someone better out there? What if this changes the intimacy that I have built? And these fears are real. They are rooted in your past lived experience. And so I honor and know that they matter. But they're also showing you where you're ready to grow. It's a growth edge. Because here's what I've come to understand, that coaches who are scaling beautifully right now, who are serving a larger group of people without burning out or losing the depth of what they're doing and still being really in integrity, are people who are walking through this portal and understanding and addressing what's causing the limitations over and over again. They're being really honest about recognizing that trying to be the sole source of transformation isn't sustainable and it only feeds our ego, right? And so the most sacred way to serve is to serve our clients in the best way. They've learned that their medicine is bigger than their personality, that their methodology can flow through another trusted practitioner without losing potency. So let me go ahead and show you what this could look like. I'm going to paint you a picture. Let's say, for example, that you grow from having 10 people in your program to now having 40 people in your program. Now, that means number one, creating systems to track those 40 people, the 40 stories, the 40 journeys that they're taking, the 40 desires, the 40 people that you're holding based on your framework. And it is possible. So, notice firstly what happens to your body. What are the thoughts that you have? Do you believe that you can do it? Have you done it? Do you feel like there's improvements that can be made? Okay. Now, imagine you bring in one additional co coach, someone who's been through the certification of your program, or someone that you have hired who embodies your principles, who have complementary gifts, who has magic and medicine that really delights you and can be such a bonus and gift and asset to your clients. Now, let's say both of you are holding these 40 people. You're not splitting the people up or matching them based on who you are. People still get you and people still get your co coach. It's just you are not the one who has to show up every single time. So both of you get to come in and out and hold that space and model what circular leadership looks like rather than hierarchical leadership, right? So there's very much so much space available for visionary leadership in this space. And so now you have two people who are holding the specific journey intimately of knowing each person, every single member, every single 40 people in the group. You're taking notes, you're having weekly coaching explorations where you're sharing insights with one another, you're discussing patterns you're noticing in your clients, and you're creating a unified field of support. Your clients aren't getting less than, they're actually getting more. They're getting more attention behind the scenes and forward facing, more perspectives, more spaciousness, more depth, more resource, and it is wonderful. And you get to hold space from overflow instead of depletion. You get to bring your biggest medicine instead of parceling out your attention in tiny doses. And so it's not even about delegation, it's about devotion. Devotion to the depth of transformation, devotion to your clients, devotion to your own sustainability and the growth and scalability of your business. So, how do you know it's time to bring in a co coach? Your body's going to tell you, right? Your inclination and your intuition is going to start guiding you in that way. And you'll notice that your mind is going to create a lot of resistance around people that are growing. And you might even notice that you have a visceral reaction to a big no and feel almost inner rage in the idea of having a program where there's other people facilitating, right? So your business is going to tell you. You might also feel like you can't grow any further than when you have because you don't believe you can serve more people because you'll be diluting the experience. Or you might feel like you wanted to keep it intimate, but really, can you still grow and have intimacy? And so you start exploring that. So here's what I'd like for you to consider. What if your resistance to bringing in a co-coach isn't actually about maintaining quality, but really, my friend, it's about maintaining control? That's right, control. What if the thing you're most afraid of losing is the intimate nature of your work, but actually it could be deepened by sharing the space with someone else? What if one thoughtfully chosen, beautifully trained co-coach could help you serve twice as many people with even more presence and allow you to feel deeply held in how you serve your clients? This is the edge of your expansion, not growing by doing more, but by trusting more, not scaling by stretching thinner, but really by building deeper support. So your medicine is meant to reach more people, and you're meant to do it in a way that doesn't deplete you and still keeps you in a space of alignment. That means bringing in some incredibly amazing people so that the circular leadership helps supports your people. Okay, so in this conversation, if you feel like there's something stirring in you, if you're noticing that you have a vision for your business that includes how to grow, let's say, your group coaching program, and you feel like you're at the edge between wanting to grow and fearing what growth might actually cost you, then you're exactly where you need to be in the space of tension. Yeah. This is a threshold between one level of service and the next of your lush growth. And so, between who you have been as a coach and who you're becoming is such an exciting time. I would love to explore these edges with you inside of Lush Business Mastermind. This is where you can scale with soul, and I can help support you in recognizing what this could look like and how to grow without losing what makes your work sacred. So if you're ready for that conversation, go ahead and find me on Instagram at Sora Schilling and slide into my DMs. And thank you for caring so deeply about the integrity of your work. Thank you for feeling the complexity of growing without losing your soul. And let's talk. All right. Until next time, bye for now.